There's some pretty strange occurrences with the California fire and information that's coming out about them. We'll look at them. We'll see that there are some pretty intriguing videos that look like arson could be involved, as well as just the absolute incompetence of the government, not only in California, but our federal government and the president as well. So here's some of the footage of from an airplane going into probably LAX, just of this terrible fire that went on. Now, California gets fires, but never to this degree, and you never see it in the neighborhoods like you have here. This is absolutely devastating. And of course, prayers for the people who are experiencing any loss in this situation. So here's one of the first videos that we'll look at in regards to arson. Andrew Huberman catches people lighting fires in Los Angeles and calls it in.
Fires now. You can see that lit a fire. These guys, not all the people there, but some of those guys lit that fire, and they're actually, the trees caught fire and then the palms are catching fire. So civilians are now lighting fires down in the so-called flats around Santa Monica, Venice. So be safe out there. Fire department's been dispatched. We don't have enough water to put this thing out. People are lighting fires.
And they're not having enough water to put any of these fires out because the government in California is more concerned about illegal immigrants, trans rights, LGBTQ, all of these things, personal feelings and their issues on these types of issues, instead of preparing for terrible fires like this. And again, we're seeing civilians starting fires like in this video. There's a lot of talk about this being tied to eco-terrorism, which it very well could be. There are dozens of credible reports of eco-terrorism throughout LA. We have been saying this from the beginning that the fires are not natural, they are being started. Another video on this that I don't have pulled up here at the moment, but I'll be posting on my main channel, Sling and Stone, here in the next few days, of people driving out of an area that's on fire and then throwing a gas can off into the brush there on the side of the road. So there's a lot going on in this whole situation. Let's see this. I'm hearing that people are thinking that there's arsonists starting the fires in the Valley area, Studio City, North Hollywood, Burbank. With my own eyes, I know they are. I called 911. I hope all the fires are being contained or put out by tomorrow morning. Obviously, this is purposely set. There's no fires around it for this to go on. So this is very clearly, deliberately set. There's other ones as well. We'll look into a little more, and then we'll get into some of the strange things surrounding this fire. The insurance companies dropping California residents off of fire insurance just a couple months ago, right before this all happened. What are the odds of that? Very similar to 9/11 when they just reinsure the building for terrorism a month or two before 9/11 happens. I mean, what are the odds with these people making these decisions that literally save them billions of dollars months before it happens? I think that's a little bit too convenient. This supposedly happened on the 7th of January. It looks a huge blue flash out in the Hollywood Hills. Looks like a transformer or something exploding, but the next day the fire started. There's a lot of talk about, of course, DEWs, direct energy weapons. This comes a lot anytime there's fires like this, because there's some strange things where it looks like the houses are being burned and the trees are not. The trees are living though, and that could, the houses are normally dead trees burning up wood, and then the trees themselves are still alive. So that's why sometimes they're staying standing, but it is pretty strange to see that in some instances it looks like they're unaffected. This is pretty odd as well. Joe Rogan, July 19th, 2024, saying that a fireman told him that one day a fire could just start and blow all the way to the coast, all the way to the ocean, and just burn everything in LA in its path.
I was filming Fear Factor. I talked to this guy who was a fire guy for the fire department. He said, it's just going to be a matter of time. There's going to be one day where a fire hits L.A., and the wind is the right way, and we're not going to be able to stop it. It's just going to burn right through to the ocean. He goes, it's just a matter of time. We all know it. I was like, what the dude? I go, the whole city? He goes, the whole city. He goes, when those big fires get going, there's not a thing. Like when a friend was trying to sell a house in California, and it turned out it was $125,000 a year just to get fire insurance. Yeah. Like what?
We've been hearing, and the information that has been coming out, that companies like State Farm have canceled California's homeowners fire insurance. Here we see California insurer canceled policies months before Los Angeles wildfires. Some people were able to get a different type of fire insurance, but when they did, it was 5 times the cost of the average fire insurance that they're normally used to. What are the odds, again, of that happening just months before this fire takes place? And that, as you just heard him say, $125,000 a year for that one person for just to get fire insurance. Why are they making it such a high premium? Right? I mean, it's too strange. It's too strange for this to be the way it is. Now, a lot of this is due to the absolute and complete incompetence of people in the California government, such as Gavin Newsom. Now, here you can see this lady coming up to him, upset with the fact that, what's he do? He's more of an actor than a governor, and it's terrible. He does a terrible job. They know that these things take place in California. They know there's high fire risks. They know there's different risks involved, and they don't prepare for them at all. Again, they're giving money to illegal immigrant housing, to illegal immigrants coming into the country, to just straight up giving them money. Not only that, they've got all the trans and LGBT stuff that they're funding when they're not doing anything to actually protect the cities and the citizens, the American citizens who live in that state.
You got a second? Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry.
She shouldn't believe it, because it's a very common thing for Gavin Newsom to make claims that he's going to do something, help the citizens of California, and then doesn't do it. He just doesn't do it.
There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now. And it's to immediately get reimbursements, individual assistance, and to help you. I'm devastated for you. I'm so sorry, especially for your daughter.
Yeah, we'll see how much he actually gets done. Again, he's very good at making empty promises. Here we see California voters passed $7.5 billion water bond in 2014. 8 years ago, California voters approved Proposition 1, a $7.5 billion water bond to fund water infrastructure projects, including $2.7 billion earmarked specifically for new water storage. Not a single water storage project was complete. There's so much they could be doing if they would actually do it and care for the citizens and try to actually do this. And here they've even, they pass these things where they're even supposed to do it, and nothing happens. Untold millions of gallons of fresh snow melt, and rain continued to flow just out into the Pacific Ocean. LA Mayor Karen Bass cut fire department's funding by $17.6 million, focused on homeless spending months before wildfires turned city into hellscape. They get all this money, and they give all this money to the homeless population there, and they're not getting out of poverty. They're just sitting back and living their regular lives and taking the handouts. The homeless problem there is just continuing to get absolutely worse and worse. So instead of actually spending money like on the fire department or the police department or something to protect citizens, they spend it again on the homeless and on illegal immigrants. LA Fire Department chief warned budget cuts severely limited disaster response a month before LA wildfire outbreak. And they have to come and they have to show face like this and make it seem like they totally care, but they don't care. They don't care. If they were going to lose, if they were going to get voted out or lose their positions in the government, then they would care. Then they might actually try to do something, but they're just here to do this and a day later, and they'll make it, they're saying, oh, they're turning it political. Yeah, it is political because it's their job to protect the citizens as a political leader, and they don't do it. So they need to be held accountable, and they actually just shouldn't even be in office. Similar to Joe Biden, of course, done a terrible job. I mean, he's not in his right mind at all. LA already shipped firefighting equipment to Ukraine, and now Biden is planning another handout as California burns. LA was shipping some of their firefighting equipment to the Ukraine. Literally millions of dollars worth came from California. And we can see here, when you type Biden sent Ukraine aid during California fire, instead of caring for the citizens of this country, like in Maui and in the Carolinas, and the destruction that takes place there, and they sometimes just give a $500 handout. Meanwhile, what are they doing here? Here we just see right here, Newsweek, Joe Biden's final $500 million Ukraine package leaves $3.8 billion on the table. Millions and millions and millions of dollars to the Ukraine to buy weapon systems and fight. We left millions and millions and millions of dollars in Afghanistan when we left there in a terrible form. Taxpayer dollars just in the hands of terrorists now. All because of just absolutely terrible politicians and their terrible policies. This was also strange. Not sure what this is, but people have been sharing this. What is that flying around the fires? You can see there's something dashing around here, looking like a drone, some sort of UFO. You can see a dash up there, and just all around, multiple flying crafts, whatever that is. Unsure, but pretty weird. Praying for the people of California, because this is really sad to see, and for all the people of America when this happens, and then the government doesn't even do what they're supposed to do to take care of its citizens. So we should be praying for the people involved, praying for a better government to actually take care of these situations, how they need to be taken care of. And in the next few days, I have a lot more footage that I'm compiling together that I'll be posting on my main channel, Sling and Stone, regarding the weird anomalies surrounding these California fires. Praying for everybody out there. Hope to see you tomorrow, 5 p.m. for the live stream on this channel, my testimony and prayer requests and Bible declarations. I hope and pray you're well. Thanks for watching, and God bless.